Hello everyone, in today's video I want to talk about the first Berserker Khazan. This is an upcoming hack and slash game that is being developed by Neopal and published by Nexon. There's an available demo on Steam which was released a couple of months ago that lets you play the first two zones of the game, and after playing through it, I want to give you guys an overview so you can decide if this is a title that you will be interested in. So let's start with the story. The game revolves around the titular character Khazan, a great general of the Pale Lost Empire who is renowned for his unparalleled combat skills and strategic acumen. In the 89th year of the Empire, Khazan is framed for treason and endures severe torture, having the tendons in both his arms severed. He is then exiled to the snowy mountains. However, during his transport, an avalanche strikes, killing most of the soldiers and placing Khazan on the brink of death. In his darkest moment, he encounters the spirit of the Blade Phantom, which merges with him, restoring his body but cursing his mind and soul. This transformation imbues him with immense strength and an insatiable thirst for battle, marking his rebirth as the first Berserker. Emerging from exile, Khazan embarks on a quest for vengeance, seeking to uncover the truth behind his betrayal and to exact retribution on those who wronged them. Surprisingly, the game uses a cel-shaded anime-inspired art style that significantly enhances its atmosphere, which contributes to a dark, moody environment that complements the game's intense combat and narrative themes. This can be observed from the very first area that players visit, Mount Heinmach, which serves as a tutorial area for learning the game's basic mechanics. This is a harsh, mountainous area with snow and ice that helps introduce players to the world. The second area available in the demo is called Storm Pass, which continues the snowy mountain theme. Through both areas, you'll be fighting Imperial soldiers, Yetis, Woes, as well as a couple of unique encounters which are separate from the bosses that are found at the end of each area. Overall, the level design of the game is linear. You navigate through straightforward zones focusing primarily on combat encounters. However, there are a couple of branching paths that may contain special items or a stronger enemy from which you can acquire better equipment and items. This is intentional, as Nexon stated the following in an interview with Game Rant. While we chose a linear structure, we made various efforts to incorporate the joy of adventure and exploration throughout the game. Speaking just about level and world play, we've placed various routes and hidden elements, and sometimes there are powerful enemies or traps. Through these elements, players can obtain important side items, crafting recipes, and various power sources for General Khazan. With that said, the game's various systems take inspiration from the soulslike genre, such as its combat, which places significant emphasis on timing your dodges and parries. Similarly, you will also have to manage your stamina, as expending too much of it will leave you vulnerable. If you find yourself without stamina, Khazan will enter an exhausted state, which will make it easy for enemies to land attacks on you. This is very important to keep in mind, especially in the early portions of the game, as at times I felt like I was constantly running out of stamina doing basic combos. Moving on to the parry mechanic, I have to say that this was my favorite part of the combat system, at least in this early portion of the game. Parrying allows you to deflect attacks, which deplete the enemy's stamina, and after enough parries, you will break their posture. This will give you a chance to perform a brutal attack that does a ton of damage and restores your stamina. This mechanic applies to both regular enemies and bosses, whose attack you can also parry, with the exception of a few moves that have specific telegraphs. As I mentioned before, you can also dodge, but unlike other games in the Souls-like genre, it didn't feel like it was your primary defensive action. Instead, it feels like it's there to supplement parrying. You can perform perfect dodges if you time them correctly, which was useful in certain scenarios, especially when you are facing an attack that cannot be parried. This doesn't necessarily mean that you can't be a dodge-focused player, as the game does offer bonuses and improvements to this mechanic within its skill tree. Because of this, making the most out of the dodging mechanic may require a little bit more player investment. When it comes to attacking, you have your basic light and heavy attacks along with sneak attacks and jump attacks. You also have a charge attack that you can perform by holding down the heavy attack button. However, there is more to the system, as you can unlock special skills that can be used to prolong combos. This will make the game feel a lot more action-oriented than other games in the genre. This leads us to character progression. The game offers a dual progression system, the first part being pretty standard for these sorts of games, as it involves receiving a resource from defeated enemies called Lacrima, similar to Souls in the Dark Souls series. You use Lacrima to put points into a variety of stats such as strength, vitality, and endurance, increasing your overall level. Each level that you gain leads to a higher Lacrima cost for subsequent upgrades, regardless of which attribute is being enhanced. The second part of the progression system revolves around the different weapons and skill trees the game offers. The game gives you access to 3 weapon types. The first being the dual-wielded sword and axe, which emphasizes rapid frenzied attacks. Players can execute whirlwind maneuvers that juggle enemies, chaining these into extended combos. The second weapon that you unlock is the two-handed greatsword, known for its formidable power. The greatsword delivers charged strikes capable of significant damage. While its attacks are slower, they can be charged for increased impact, allowing players to defeat enemies in a single blow. The last weapon that is unlocked is the spear, which offers long reach and fluid combos. Its wide attack range allows players to maintain consistent pressure, strategically depleting enemy stamina to induce exhaustion. Each weapon comes with unique skills and abilities that can be unlocked and upgraded, allowing players to experiment with different playstyles. Apart from the weapon-specific skill trees, you also have a common skill tree that provides universal enhancements that benefit all combat styles, focusing on general attributes and survivability. This tree includes passives to improve things like your dodging, parry windows, and stamina consumption. The game allows you to respec freely, which is great for those that like to experiment, and you won't have to worry about being locked into a specific playstyle that you do not enjoy. Overall, I really enjoyed my time with the demo. Even in this early portion of the game, the combat felt smooth and responsive. The 2 boss fights that were available were very different from each other, and both regular enemies and bosses had clear telegraphs for their attacks. This made it very satisfying to learn their patterns and perfect the parries. While the level design was linear, I didn't feel it detracted from the overall experience, as each time I found a side path, I encountered either a special enemy or valuable items, making its limited exploration feel rewarding. To top it all off, I really love the art style that the game has gone with, which makes it stand out from other titles in the Souls-like genre. I forgot to mention earlier that any progress made in the demo will carry over to the full game when it releases on PS5, Xbox, and PC on March 27, 2025. If you guys have played the demo, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to see a full playthrough of the demo, I have one available on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I'll be doing more coverage on this game once it releases. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to catch you in the next one.